Good afternoon and welcome to Thriving Tuesday, Moments of Encouragement, or TTMOE at 4:30. Glad that you are here with us on this afternoon. I pray that all is well with you and that God is blessing you right now. Del John, glad that you're here. Glad to see you, and I hope that all is well with you. And as others are populating, we just want you to come in. When you come in, say hello so that we can know you are here. Hey, Miss Lucy. Yes. Good to see you here, and glad that you are doing well and all is well in your family. And we thank God for you. All right. We want to start getting started with what we're going to talk about today. I think I need to turn the music down just a little bit more. There we go. So, today we're going to talk about what it means to speak, to keep showing up. I was going to say speak up, but to keep showing up. Hi, Aunt Obi. It's good to have you here. So, we got to keep showing up. The text for today comes from Matthew, the 21st chapter. We are in Holy Week. So we are in that time of what I call the Holy Week Chronicles, things that Jesus did during this Holy Week that sometimes we don't hear about. We hear about all of the 7 last words, and we hear about, of course, Resurrection Sunday. But Jesus did a whole lot of things during that week. Leading up to the trial, leading up to the betrayal, leading up to the Lord's Supper, Maundy Thursday, leading up to that, between the Sunday triumphant entry until Thursday, a whole lot of things went on. One of those things that happened was on Monday, as historians have laid it out. On Monday was that day that Jesus went back to the temple. So Sunday, when he rode in, he went to the temple, but nobody was there by the time he got there. Then he went back on Monday, and when he arrived on Monday, what he saw made him angry. Let me pull over for a minute to let you know that we can be angry and still be sinless. So Jesus got angry with what he saw. He saw people cheating others in order for them to be able to worship. It wasn't just that money was being exchanged. It was that money was being exchanged to exploit people who had very little. And so Jesus said, as he turned over the tables, "My house shall be called of all nations a house of prayer, but you have made it a den of thieves." So Jesus did that on Monday. But here's where we come to today. On Tuesday, this is what Jesus did. Text simply says this: Jesus entered the temple courts and began to teach. This is on the other side of the table turning, over the rebuke and the reprimand of making the house of God a den of thieves. Jesus enters the temple courts and begins to teach. Well, why is that important for us today as we are talking about what it means to keep showing up? Jesus said in his showing back up on Tuesday that I handled what I needed to handle yesterday, but now you need to learn why it was a problem. Now you need to learn what I have to tell you before I'm not here anymore to share with you. Jesus showed up even after Jesus had handled the situation. So what's the message for us? The message for us is in the times in which we live, there are going to be times when we're going to have to speak truth in situations that aren't going to feel very comfortable for those we have to speak truth to. There are going to be times where boldness is going to be absolutely necessary. But after the boldness, we don't walk away. We don't stay angry. We don't get in our, get our marbles and go home. We keep showing up because love is greater than momentary anger. Jesus didn't stop loving because Jesus set them straight. Jesus didn't stop loving them and showing them grace and knowing what he was about to do just for them and for us, because they angered him in their deportment, because they angered him in the way that they were handling the temple. So the message for us is there are going to be times in our lives, in our walk with God, that God is going to compel us, call on us to set the record straight in places that may or may not be able to handle the way God gives it to us. But that doesn't mean we run away, that we go away and we never show back up. We keep showing up because love keeps showing up. Listen, let me give you an example. There are times when children, grandchildren, family members take us to a place where we have to get some things straight, right? But that doesn't mean we don't show up at Easter dinner. That doesn't mean they're uninvited. It means that that situation called for a straightening. And God gave you the ability to be able to discern what the problem was and to call it into accountability. Accountability with love. When we speak truth with love, we can keep showing up. It's only when we speak truth, even when it's truth, but when we speak it in a way that is hurtful and harmful, that it's hard for us to keep coming back. Yes, Jesus turned over those tables, but he didn't turn over the tables of the faithful. He turned over the tables of the thieves. And what the people got to see is Jesus standing for them in the face of those who would do them wrong. So sometimes we got to stand up in the face of those who would do people wrong, in the face of those who would treat people not in the way that Jesus would have us to treat them, those who would hurt others and would cause them harm. We got to stand up and say, not on my watch. But then when we handle them, we got to keep showing up for those who we care for. We got to even show up for those whom we had to talk to, because they need to know that it comes from a place of care, not from a place of destructive mindset, destructive activity, that it doesn't come from an argumentative space, that it does not come from a space where you really want somebody to feel what they've been given. It's not that retribution. It's not punitive. It's love. So many times people don't want to be held accountable. They somehow think to hold someone accountable is to be harmful or to be nasty or hateful. There are times when we must stand. We must speak truth in difficult circumstances. We've got to speak a truth that we know comes from God. We've got to be able to stand in it. And once we've stood in it, then we can keep showing up. My mama, I never understood this until I got to an age where I understood what it meant to be lovingly reprimanding, lovingly holding someone accountable. My mother would whoop me all, for whatever it was I had done. I know that Corporal punishment is problematic in our culture. But my mama would whoop me. And then after she whooped me, she would give it a time for her to calm down and me to think about what it is that had been done and why. And then she would cook, or she would say, hey, let's go. We're going out to dinner. It wasn't to minimize what I had done. It wasn't to say that you didn't get in trouble. It wasn't to say that I meant what I did because you needed it. It was to say that's not the only thing we have. That we are more than what I had to hold you accountable for. And love kept showing up. So as we go through this Holy Week, as we think about what Jesus did, as we work our way toward Good Friday, as we work our way toward the cross, and as we press our way, sometimes too quickly, to resurrection. Amen. Remember that Jesus didn't only do the Last Supper, didn't only go to the cross, stand before Pontius Pilate, go before Herod. He didn't only get betrayed by Judas and denied by Peter. Jesus spent the first part of the week fixing some things, turning over some things that needed to be turned over. But Jesus kept showing up. And when Jesus showed up, he showed up teaching. He showed up sharing. He showed up loving. He showed up caring. Jesus kept showing up. So that's our message today. That's my encouragement to you. Keep showing up. Yes, you're going to have to speak truth, and sometimes to powerful situations, but keep showing up. And be encouraged. Keep showing up. Be encouraged. It's good to see you, sunshine. Good to see you, my joy. Listen, you all share this. Somebody needs to know that Jesus did a whole lot more on that week. And it becomes a lesson, an example. He becomes an exemplar for us. That there are going to be times we got to handle stuff. But it doesn't mean we run away. We keep showing up, keep loving, keep caring, keep being, keep walking in our calling, keep loving, keep showing up. Be encouraged. Be blessed. Have an amazing Holy Week. Spend the time reflecting that you need to. And remember, don't get to Sunday before you understand the gravity, the weight of this week and what Jesus did because of love. Good to see you, Miss Benson. You know I love you much. God bless you. God keep you. Keep showing up. See you soon.